another episode. This is the episode in which we're going to change the snare head, both the batter head, the resonant head, and the snare side, and the snare wires. First thing I'm going to do is I purchased this right here, which is a Pro Drum Mic Pack by CAD. It was $100 from Musician's Friends, or 120, 130. It was pretty inexpensive. So I'm going to open this right now, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to the snare, and I'm just basically going to show you what I'm using to amplify and record the snare before and after. But I'm not going to show you me putting it on. That'll be another review. So it comes in a case like this, in which we will, motorcycles, we will review later. But, so it comes with connections. This is the, I don't know what one this is, but okay. So there's one specifically for the snare, and it says snare on it. So you're going to use this clip here, and you're going to clip it on. Okay. I don't know exactly how, but I'm going to, and that's going to give me the sound that I want to amplify. It's kind of light. Anyway, I'll do a review on this later, but stay tuned. We're gonna get started on hearing the before and after of the snare. Thank you. Okay, so I set up the mic. I'm running it through my computer. I'm in my studio, garage, aka garage, where I have my sound equipment up. So I put the snare on, listen to it in the headphones. Hopefully I have the volumes right. It's kind of hard because it's far away. I need an extension for my headphones. But I just want to let you hear a little bit on what it sounds like, okay? And it's going to sound the way it sounds. Okay, so hopefully you got some understanding on how it sounds, how the old head and old snare sounds, snare wires sound. Sounds okay. I mean, being a beginner, you're not going to, right now may not be the time to perfect your sound. Maybe it is, I don't know, someone tell me. From what I found is, as long as it sounds okay and you're able to follow along with the paradiddles and rudimentary stuff, then sound is important. But if it's going to detour you, like, oh my God, this sounds horrible, so I'm never going to play again, then fix the sound. If you just want to learn the basics, sound may be secondary to what you're doing. But I just wanted you to hear a before and after, so that when you're playing, you might have an opportunity to make your sound better with a cheap pair of drums. So we're going to start off with the snare, and we'll go from there, if I dare. Okay, so here we are with the snare, and I'm going to be a little bit creative. I have a GoPro that will go on my head right now, and so what I'm looking at, hopefully you guys can see at a couple different angles. I know that the camera over here, can you see, is a pretty good view, but hopefully I don't get out of that because I can't see that one. So let me go right ahead and start. I'll start with, and so this is what I was told, that use two drum keys. Two drum keys. That's one, and that's two. Okay. The other thing is paraffin wax. So paraffin wax is that right there. Okay. So it's that right there. Now, I was in the garage, or this was in the garage, and the garage is 115 degrees, so it's hot. So I'm going to have to tear this open because the box is kind of bound with the wax, of course. So let's go right ahead, and I'll go ahead, tear this open, and put the head thing on and start taking the heads off and the snare wire. Snare wire comes first because it's obviously at that part, and then we'll put the new snare wire on after we put the resonant head, and then we'll put the snare head on. So this is going to be pretty exciting. So let's look. Okay, let's start with tools that we'll need. Need a rag to wipe it off. Need a screwdriver so that we can undo the snare wire. We need 2 drum keys for ease of tuning, and some paraffin wax. And that's just paraffin wax. Okay. Set those off to the side. And of course you need your reverse dot snare batter. That's the top side. Okay. And then of course you need your hazy 300 snare side. It doesn't need to be hazy, it just needs to be a snare side. So you got your heads. I'm going to set those back over here. And I'm going to flip this over and start taking this off, right? So I'm going to take these right here, okay, and I'm just going to undo this whole thing. Okay, so hopefully, now I've never done this before, so it's possible I don't do it correctly, but I hope I'm not too much of a imbecile, that I can at least somewhat figure it out. Okay, so we're going to set this. So the things that came off it, that, and these 2 screws, I'm going to keep off to the side. And probably what you should do first is undo all the snare workings as far as you can. Good enough. Okay, and then undo these. Side. Now I don't know if I really need to, but I'm going to take that off all the way. I don't think it will be any harm to do so. Okay, so now this basically just comes right off. And it's horrific. So we'll throw this away entirely. Now, we are going to simply undo all the correct way. Don't tighten it. Doesn't really matter if you tighten it, to be honest. But it does if you're trying to take it off. And you just simply go around it and take the easiest I've found from watching is if you just loosen it enough so that you can then do it by hand. That's just that much better. Makes it easier and simpler. Okay, so now just undo all this. Make sure you keep all the lugs and the and the screw and the washers. And be patient because this is going to take quite some time. Remember? And I have seen a tool that will take these out super quick. It's basically a drill with a drum key bit on it. So, whatever. We are not overly lazy. Of course, you do have to loosen it rather than tighten it, or it will never come off. That's just some advice my dad used to teach me. If you tighten it, it will not come off. Well, eventually it will once it snaps. I proved that to him later in life. And he said, threw his arms up and said, well, I tried. Not sure what that meant entirely. Okay, so we'll put all these off to the side. We're going to take, this is the ring, and as you can see all the dust and stuff that comes off with it. Set that off to the side. And look at this nastiness. Yucky, yuck. Okay, so that's grody. Set that over here. The other grody stuff. Well, and then we take our rag and we wipe it all the way off. And I just realized that paraffin wax, I'm not sure will work with this one, but it might. So let's just try it. I'm sure it won't totally hurt. And you know what I'm going to do? Since there's so much dust and garbage here on it, I'm just going to take the other head off too. As you can see down here, I don't like an old Energizer. They probably put this in there to dampen some noise, but we'll take that off. We're going to make this nice and pretty. Okay, so you don't need to watch this. I'm already going to take this off right here. See there? Okay. Okay. I just really want to get this drum cleaned out, and you can see there's right here, there's tons of yuck. So what I don't want to do is get it all clean and then put it on again and then have to take it off again for whatever reason. So since it shouldn't matter, if I wasn't such an idiot, I would take this off and not continually try to. Since these are from the top, I'm going to put the top ones over there, just so in case it's different, which is sure it's not, just in case. Okay, now don't get mixed up on which one you're working on. I know which one I'm working on. So this one doesn't have a washer. That's okay. But as you can see, look at all this stuff that's coming off. Okay, so this is the top. Top's gonna go, stuff's gonna go over here, and then that's horrible. Yuck. Okay. So all that stuff's there. We're gonna go right ahead and wipe all this stuff off. And we're just gonna go around this. That's the top, I know, don't worry about it. Surface, make sure no dirt gets in there. Okay, so this is the bottom. See how that's that? This is the bottom. Okay, now this is the trick I was told. So I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure it has to do with snares, but it should be okay anyway. So you just basically take this. See how it puts a small thing of wax around it. That's all we're looking for, is just the most thin layer of wax. And don't forget to wipe this off. Get all the icks, blocks and yucks off of this. Beautify it and prettyify it. Okay, so again, this is the first time ever I've done this, so if I do it wrong, please let me know what I'm doing wrong. And this is the snare side. So snare side. Right there it says it's 14-inch snare. So we take this, and it looks almost identical to the other one. However, so some people are real sticklers about putting this on a certain way. Like this would be, a certain way. The reality is, it makes it easier, from what I've seen, to tune if you have this marked, the emblem at a lug. Really, any lug doesn't. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to put that one on that lug right there. Okay. And that's pretty much it for that. Okay, so that lug's right there. So now we're going to take this, okay, and it needs to be wiped off a little bit more. It's not quite. Okay, good enough, I think. Good enough. So the government worker. Okay, so put this on. Now keep in mind the snare one has this right here. Okay, that's where the snare goes through. So you're going to have to line that up accordingly. Okay, just like that. So now you take your dealios, and your dealios are what's called lugs. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start one just to keep it. Okay, so now the key is put all these in and then do them hand tight. That's been the rule that I've heard and seen on so many videos, so it must be true. It must be true, which isn't necessarily true, but whatever. Okay, so now we're just going to go around and hand tighten everything. Now I'm loosening. For some reason, one hand I can do one way, the other hand I can do nothing. That's just the way it is. I'm going to button this up because the last thing you want to see is my belly. Unless you're into that, which I'm not going to judge you, I don't care. Okay, so now, as you can see, there's a lot of play in that. We're going to start here, and we're going to do here, 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 here. No, actually, we're going to do diagonally. We're going to do what's called the star pattern, okay? At least I think I'm going to, and if I'm not, tell me. So we're going to do one around on this. It's hand tight. One. Okay. And then we're going to go right across. We're going to do one here. One. Actually, that may have been a little bit more. It's okay. We're going to come over here. We're going to do one. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to do one. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to do one. Then we're going to go here, we're going to do one. Then we're going to come over, see now I'm just totally screwed up. Did I do this one? No. Now I'm going to come over here, which doesn't make any sense, so I'm not doing this right. One. I'll go over here. So obviously this is harder than it seems because okay, so I didn't really do that, the star pattern. I'm gonna tune it to itself. So what that means is right here needs to sound the same as there and there. Okay, so this one's gonna be the key one right here. Okay, put it like that just so that we have. I'm gonna get this, and we're not gonna hit this very hard. Okay, it looks like there's a little mark on that already, but what you gonna do? Okay, so this is the one that we're gonna tune to. In fact, I'm gonna. In fact, I like this sound right here, so I'm going to do it to that one. Okay. That sounds pretty good to me. I mean, that's probably the best I'm going to be able to do it. So now we have this to put on. So this was on sale at Musician's Friends, and was told that 24 is super good, or it's, you know, it's a matter of preference, really what it comes down to. We all have our own idea of what we want things to sound like. And why is there nothing? Oh, here it is. So this comes with instructions. It says, remove old such and such, remove old snare wires and adjust the strainer tension knob until it's halfway between its highest and lowest position. Thread the speed strap through the butt end, and strainer clamps do not tight clamps. Put the ends of the releases on to center. Okay. But I guess, I don't know, does it go like this? Or does it go like this? It goes like that. Okay, so that's saying to put it like this. So I'm going to put these on because otherwise these straps can go between those, so I'm going to take a screwdriver. One these through here. Okay, let's do the other side. Hello. So what I've decided is to put these back on because I really probably shouldn't have taken them out. And these are what the strap is going to go into. But live and learn, no big deal. Except it's kind of a pain in the ass to put in. Other than that, it's not a big deal. That was a pain in the ass. Okay, back to this. So it says, put that through. See, this is a little different scenario. The one is okay, the other one is mediocre at best. Pull the ends through the speed. hand, you just tighten it in. Just do kind of reverse on what the instructions tell you. As you can see, we're trying to center it now as best we can. So it's going to be a little off. That's okay. Now we just tighten this puppy up. Like that. Okay, so that should be good. Now what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to do that kind of over, because, yeah. Okay, so that is probably okay. So that's the one side. That's the resonant side. Now we're going to do the other side, but I'm going to use this to set it on. I don't really want it to, and that's a cool angle too. You can kind of see what's going on there, can't you? Okay, so now we have the batter side, which it's coated. See? Okay. So I'm going to line those up. It's going to go on that one there. But I'm going to do the paraffin wax. Just lightly. Okay. Not a big deal. So now I'm going to line this up with the other dealio, the other logo. I'm going to take, this is grody. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to wipe this off good and clean. Pretty much it just goes on like that. So this is going to be neat to have. Now what you do is you take your lugs and you do the same thing that you just did with the snare side. And you just, I'm going to see if I have an extra nut. Okay, so I found another one. I bought some. So this looks like it's the same size. So that's good. So I'll use that. I'll put that on the side. I won't need it. Okay, so now here's the part that I'm not 100% on because I've never done. Now I've seen, and it's putting your weight on it so that it seats and okay. So as you can see, it's really okay. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do maybe one and then over to the right, we're going to do 1, and then we're going to come over here, we're going to do 1, over here 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 we're going to do 1. Okay. How come I didn't get this one? Over here we're going to do 1. Okay, there we go. So, same thing. We're going to put some weight on it. And I was told you might hear creaking, just like we are. Okay. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do 1 here. Maybe a half a turn. Do a half a turn here. That's not the half turn here. Half a 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 turn here. And then half a turn here. Okay, well, obviously I didn't do that scientifically good. So now, we're going to tune it. so and that is how you tune and replace everything on a snare drum. It's a little off right there, but I think all in all it's decent. I think we're good. I think where I'm going to call it, and I think that we have a lot of good information. I'll put all this together, and hopefully you can get something out of it. If you have advice, please share, because this is all about learning and it's all about sharing. This is the very absolute 100% first time I've ever done this. So I've just word of mouth, people telling me what to do, people advice, looking on other sites on YouTube and other drum sites. That's what I've referenced. So if I did something wrong, I know the star pattern I kind of did all whacked out. It's obviously it's harder than it looks. So try it, and you're going to have to try it over and over. So I have 4 more drums to do. By all means, by the time I'm done with it, I'll be able to understand what I'm doing better. So all in all, as long as it's tuned by itself, I mean, really, it doesn't tune to itself. It's probably not going to be that bad. Any sequence is probably okay as long as it comes out sounding okay. But I think to do it the way the experts say is the way to do it. So learn what the experts say, do the star pattern, and you can't go wrong, right? So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Please send us an email, give us some comments and feedback. I know this is a long one, and there's tons out there. So thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Matthew, and you're not. That's not my line, but it is now. Thanks for watching. Come back.